Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for taking time to join us again today for another Facebook Live with the Kentucky Career Center. We are back with another Facebook Live coaching session where we're going to discuss some of the opportunities out there if you're looking for a career change, a job search, if you've been affected by COVID-19, you're unemployed, you're just thinking about changing your career. We want to highlight all of the great things that the Kentucky Career Center can do for you. So we're really excited that you take some time to join us today. We're going to give everybody just a minute or so to join. Just be sure if you can comment, if you can hear us, please comment in the comment section so I can make sure that you can hear and see our guest today, our very own Ellen Bates. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
So we are excited. We're going to discuss over the past couple of weeks, you've heard us talk about positions with the National Dislocated Worker Grant. So we've invited Ellen to join us today to talk a little bit more about the program and get some information out to everybody out there, because it really is a great opportunity for people here in Northern Kentucky. So, all right. Mindy, thank you for joining us and let us know that you can hear us. So that is important that you can hear and see what we're saying. So, all right, we're going to give everybody just about 20, 25 more seconds, and then we're gonna get started here, if that works for you, Ellen.
That works for me.
Perfect. So we'll get my water here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, thank you so much for taking time to join us today. We're really excited about our guest, Ellen, and what we're talking about today. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. So Ellen, can you take some time to introduce yourself to us and just tell us a little bit about the Kentucky Career Center?
Yeah, absolutely. So good afternoon, everybody. As Garrett said, my name's Ellen Bates. I am the Workforce Innovation Director with Brighton Center at the Kentucky Career Center. And so that means that Brighton Center is the direct workforce services provider and operator of the Kentucky Career Center for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as WIOA. So I know I just said a lot of big fancy words, but essentially how I always describe the Kentucky Career Center and our program is that we are the bridge between job seekers and employers, and our goal is to connect qualified job seekers with employers in our area that are looking for awesome talent.
Excellent. That's a perfect way to sum it up, Ellen. So I couldn't have said it better myself. That's excellent. So as you guys know, we've spent the last 2 weeks talking about the National Dislocated Worker Grant, and I've kind of done like a high level overview. But Ellen, would you mind taking some time to let us know exactly what is the National Dislocated Worker Grant?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'm going to take a minute just to talk about that phrase, dislocated worker. That is essentially just, the fancy term for someone who is unemployed right now, someone who might be seeking unemployment benefits or might have lost their job. We're in a unprecedented economic situation. And so when we say dislocated worker, that's really just grant language for someone who's looking for work, and being able to make that connection. So the National Dislocated Worker Grant is a federal grant that we received, the state of Kentucky received and is using in Northern Kentucky to fund some temporary positions. And so this is all in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We definitely saw some major shifts in our economy during this time. Some industries had to make some very quick, drastic shutdowns or closures, furlough some employees, and other industries really saw a huge increase in, a need for employees and a need for their services. The nonprofit industry really seeing a big spike in a lot of the vital services that they provide to the community. And so the goal of the National Dislocated Worker Grant is just to get people connected to some great job opportunities, get paid a little bit while they're doing that, gaining some experience, and work with a career coach while they look for that permanent job.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have that discussion about just the impact that COVID-19 has had. If you're out there and you're watching and you've been recently unemployed, it's not just you. It made a huge hit in some areas, and like Ellen said, some industries were able to to increase services, and nonprofits, definitely being one of those with increased service delivery. So this is a great opportunity. If you are a dislocated worker, which again is a fancy way of saying that you're currently unemployed, this is a great opportunity to gain those skills and get back in the job market and gain some valuable coaching along the way. So, Alan, I did just want to ask you, really, what's the best way to find out about positions that are available through the National Dislocated Worker Grant?
Yeah, absolutely. So the great thing about this program is that there is an individual who's dedicated to working with this program, and his name is Brad Dansbury. His information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and so he will work with every customer looking for employment coming in to get connected and start the eligibility process. Because it is grant funded, so when we say National Dislocated Worker Grant, it is, as I mentioned, federally funded. So there is a little bit of eligibility criteria to qualify for some of these jobs, but definitely seek out the opportunity if you're interested, and we can walk through that process to see if you're eligible. And if you're not, we can still help you get connected to employment. So there's no harm in reaching out either way. But the best way to get started and the best point of contact is Brad Dansbury, and his information's on the bottom there.
Yeah, so we've just added that in below. You'll see Brad Dansbury. It does take some time once we add it. Brad Dansbury, his name, and then his email and phone number and extension to reach out to. So, and that'll lead us to our next question. So I know that there's different areas that they're kind of looking for, but do you know about how many employers have positions available through this grant, Ellen?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are working with 8 nonprofit organizations that are all looking to hire, anywhere from 1 to 5 people to help support the great work that they're doing in the community. 2 of those organizations have joined Garrett last week, and that's the Northern Kentucky Community Action Commission and the Life Learning Center. And so those positions that they talked about are funded through this grant, and we'll be working with Brad on those. But then we also have the Kenton County Public Library, the Housing Authority of Covington, Be Concerned, Free Store Food Bank, Boone County Fiscal Court, and then Brighton Center actually will be hiring a few positions through this grant as well. And I don't think I missed any, Garrett.
I think that was all of them. I do believe so. So there's a lot of opportunity definitely out there for people that are interested, in this work. And it seems like there's a good amount of, varying, I guess, types of positions or industries maybe is the word I would use to describe it. So there's a lot of opportunities out there, 8, and I think there's multiple ones. There's, either single or multiple positions available. So it's not just 8 positions. There's a good portion of total positions available, I guess is the word that I'm trying to say. That I'm
yeah, absolutely. So across the region, there are about 20 positions that are available under this grant. And they are full-time positions. They are temporary positions. But it's a year-long contract, or up to a year-long contract. Could be a little bit shorter than that, just depending on when the hiring starts and that kind of thing. But the great thing about the program is that, you're working with that dedicated career coach the whole way. So even, it might seem like the end point is getting connected to that position, but that's really just the beginning of the work. And so the career coach and the Kentucky Career Center are going to continue, working with you for what happens after this program, and making sure that that next step is permanent employment, and not just a kind of good luck, see you later when this program ends. And that's definitely not the Kentucky Career Center model. We follow up and follow through with our customers. And as Garrett mentioned, the different industries, all of the positions are with nonprofit organizations, but quite a variety of different job descriptions. Everything from, maybe working directly with customers in like an outreach specialist or resource advocate kind of way, to an HR role at those organizations, to a maintenance technician. And so really all skill areas, are represented, and lots of different opportunities, regardless of where your previous experience might have been.
Yeah, I think that's awesome that, it's not just one thing. And that's what I learned, talking with different people and kind of working with this a little bit, was just how neat it is to get that opportunity to do something different that you haven't done before, that you have some skills you can tap into, or to work on what you have, a maintenance position if you had that experience, or, some HR and you were affected by this. I think that's really neat. And then to pair it with services that are offered in that career coaching to help people transition from what could be a rough time potentially to something that's beneficial, and to have, I like to tell people, like, you have a partner in this process, like somebody that's going to work for you and that's going to go to bat for you, that's really going to try to help you get somewhere. We always throw around the term self-sufficient, but make sure you're comfortable where you are, and that you're set up for long-term success. So I think that's important that you get that opportunity with this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to frame it all.
And so I know we kind of talked about, there's the different positions. So really it could be any industry. It could, range from maintenance to HR. So I guess your day would, it kind of leads to a question that we can have, and your day will be different. But I really think that there's a lot of opportunity out there, even if maybe you didn't have nonprofit experience, that, these positions are at nonprofit organizations, but there could be opportunities there, even if you don't have that experience in direct service, providing direct services. I guess, am I saying that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with this program, you are an employee of the organization that has hired you. So you're not employed through the Kentucky Career Center under this grant. It is actually, the Life Learning Center or the Housing Authority, and you are an employee of that organization, just working with, a career coach from the Career Center for that process. So to your point of what a day in the life looks like, it's going to be different, across any number of those agencies and depending on the positions that you're looking at. But looking at those companies' websites and really, getting a feel for the company culture is a great way to determine what a day in the life looks like. And a lot of those companies will have these jobs posted on their website to see the job descriptions and make those connections for what's available.
That's excellent. So I do notice I totally skipped over a question that I had. So are there any steps to become eligible for these positions? I know that technically you have to be a dislocated worker. Kind of what else is there throughout this process?
So the biggest eligibility criteria is just that. It is that you are unemployed, or eligible for unemployment benefits and looking for work. There are a few other, little eligibility things. We often would, get a copy of an ID or a driver's license, kind of that type of documentation. But Brad is really, the one to walk you through that process. So that's not something that, as a job seeker, you have to determine on your own. It's a quick phone call with Brad to set up an appointment and really get the ball rolling. There's some paperwork, as there is, with any type of grant funded position. For those of us who have worked in federal funding, we're familiar with that. But the Career Center staff here are here to walk you through that process. That's not something that you have to determine on your own, and they'll work with you and guide you on that and kind of get you through those steps. And then you'll actually go on an interview with the company that you're wanting to work with. So we do that first kind of pre-screening, if you will, to determine that eligibility. And then once we've determined that eligibility, it's really a regular hiring process with the company that you're interested in.
That's excellent. And it's nice, like we said, and we said it before in previous ones, that you're not on your own. We'll, go through the process with you in terms of, what paperwork you need or anything like that. So it's not difficult. But like we said, Brad can help you go through it, or one of our talent development specialists can help you navigate that process. So that brings us to another question. If someone is interested in these positions, I guess the best way to contact someone at the Kentucky Career Center to begin the eligibility process would probably just be Brad, which we're scrolling across the bottom here.
Absolutely. or even just, I would say, post on put a comment on this post. We watch our Facebook pages regularly. Be sure to check the Facebook page for, updates about the positions. And we are hoping to feature some of the other organizations like we did with Life Learning Center and the Community Action Commission in the next couple of weeks to learn a little bit more in depth about the positions that they have available. And we're also in the process of scheduling some hiring events with those companies, so that you'll have the ability to, right then and there, get an opportunity to talk with their HR person and learn a little bit more about it. And Brad will be a part of those hiring events, so we can set up that initial appointment all in one fell swoop. So we're really trying to streamline this as much as possible to make it easy to get connected to these jobs. But yeah, feel free to make a comment, and we'll be sure to check for those and reach out to you, and get you connected however we can.
Yeah, and definitely the best way, Haley and I say it every week, like our Facebook page, like our YouTube, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, Instagram, like it, in just social media age, and especially everything that's happening with COVID-19 and services being provided virtually now. That's the best way to do it, to stay up to date. We post our jobs there. I think just today they posted the outreach specialist for Life Learning Centers. These positions are being added to our Facebook page. So that's really one of the best ways just to stay in touch with us is to like the Facebook page and join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Selfless plug there. So I think that those were really the questions that I had. Is there anything that maybe we should know about, or something about maybe the grant that is important that we should share? Or
Yeah. So I actually think that we are saving the best little bit of news for last here, because this position is funded through the National Dislocated Worker Grant. It is considered what they call subsidized employment, which means that it could potentially not affect your unemployment benefits. So you could continue earning unemployment while working in one of these positions, which we know is a big factor for people. Oftentimes for many people who have lost their jobs, the jobs that they're looking to go into are, not paying quite what they were making the last time. And we know that that's a process in terms of kind of building back up to where you were. And so this is a great way to really, make sure that you're getting that self-sufficient income, because your unemployment benefits may not be impacted in this process, and we would look at all of that, have more specifics on that on a case-by-case basis. But in general, this should not affect your unemployment insurance benefits.
That's awesome that, you can still get your unemployment. And essentially you're almost doing like a paid internship. You're getting job skills, you're networking, you're building relationships with organizations, the organization that you're working with. So that, I think that's awesome that it provides a little bit of financial stability along with it as well.
Absolutely.
So this is the time that we get to our questions. We do have a couple questions in there. So go ahead if you are watching and you have questions for myself or Ellen about the program, maybe positions that are posted or agencies, go ahead and get them in. It does take a couple seconds for it to come through. So if you can go ahead and just get them in now, we'll get to them. And to all the comments that are there, yes, Brad is awesome. Yes. So Brad is awesome. So we're happy that he's here to help with this program. So the first question actually comes from Talia Fry. So Talia, thank you so much for watching with us. And the question is, will any of these opportunities lead to maintenance career positions?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are several maintenance technician positions available through this grant. Several with the Housing Authority of Covington and with the Northern Kentucky Community Action Commission. And so those are definitely great opportunities that can lead to very in-demand careers in the area right now.
Yes, that's definitely a need that we share a lot. Maintenance is a big issue, and we, if you follow us on Facebook, I think in the past week there's been one or two that have been posted that they're looking for. So that's also there. Let's see. So then Elizabeth, we did go over this question, but we'll bring it up again in case you join us. Will you lose my UI if you take this job?
And thanks for that question, Elizabeth. And yeah, that's definitely a major perk of these positions is that it should not affect your unemployment benefits, and be able to really help boost your self-sufficient income in this process while you're looking for that next permanent job.
So, Elizabeth, thank you for the question. I still think that's so cool that you can do that. I didn't know that. So I learned something new today. I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have another question from Susanna. Actually, two. So we'll throw up the first one for you, Susanna. Is there a list of what types of jobs are available?
So we are currently working on a flyer and social media kind of graphic post to put out there so that it really is driving this information, and that will include the organizations that are hiring. In terms of all of the different positions, because there's such a range, we don't necessarily have a list going out there just yet, but all of the positions are posted in Focus Career. So to be sure to check Focus Career at ky.gov for all of the organizations that are hiring in this process.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much. And we'll link in the comments at the end. We'll go ahead and link Focus Careers as well, so you can access that, because that's where a lot of these jobs are posted, and that is the main job search tool with the Kentucky Career Center. So it's a great tool to have. So, and then Susanna, we're going to get to your second question. What about customers with barriers like background restrictions?
That's a great question, Susanna. Because each, of the organizations involved is actually hiring this individual as an employee, it's, like many employers, there's going to be a case-by-case situation. So some employers might have some restrictions based on the position that they are posting, and other employers, that process might look a little bit different depending on the position that they are hiring. So I would just say that if that is a situation that you are in, to have that conversation with Brad, because Brad, again, can be like Garrett said, your partner in this process, and we have the ability to, we can talk with the organizations and see where might be a good fit for you.
No, excellent. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for the questions. So we'll give some time. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it in. If we don't get to it before we end, that's fine. Like I said, we check this regularly, so we'll be able to see it and get an answer for you. But I just wanted to take some time and thank you so much, Ellen, for taking your time out of your day today to discuss this with us, because it really is a great program that can have a big impact on someone that's been affected by COVID-19, that's receiving unemployment. And I can't get over how cool it is that you can get paid and still keep your unemployment. That's pretty neat. Potentially, I guess I should say potentially, not to throw out a guarantee there. But again, thank you everyone for joining us. If you have a question or you watch this later in the day, you're not with us live right now, that's fine. Go ahead and get your question in and we'll get it answered for you. And we're going to add a list of everyone that's hiring. The employers, I'll go ahead and add that in just a second. I'll comment on the video after it ends and we'll get that started for you. That way you can see who's hiring and the agencies that are out there. So Ellen, thank you again so much for taking time. I know that you're very busy, so it meant a lot that you could take some time with us today and talk about the wonderful program. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yes, I like it. It's enjoyable. So everybody out there, thank you again for joining us. Be sure to join us next Tuesday, 1:00 for our next guest for our career coaching, and join us Thursdays at 9:30 as Haley continues employee spotlights of local employers that are currently hiring. So thanks everyone again. And Ellen, thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.